This is the Sabbath School lesson for the fourth quarter, 2021.
Lesson 8 from our series Present Truth in Deuteronomy is titled Choose Life, ready for teaching on November 20, and I'm Percy Harrold. Tuesday, November 16. Life and good, death and evil, blessings and curses. Toward the end of the book of Deuteronomy, after a long discourse on what will happen to the people if they disobey the Lord and violate the covenant promises, Deuteronomy 30 begins with a promise that even if they fall into disobedience and are punished with exile, God will nevertheless restore them to the land. That is, if they repented and turned from their evil ways. Read Deuteronomy 30, verses 15 to 20. What are the options presented to ancient Israel here, and how did these options reflect what we have seen all through the Bible? Deuteronomy 30, beginning at verse 15. See, I have set before you today life and good, death and evil, in that I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways and to keep his commandments, his statutes, and his judgments, that you may live and multiply. And the Lord your God will bless you in the land which you go to possess. But if your heart turns away so that you do not hear, and are drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I announce to you today that you shall surely perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land which you cross over the Jordan to go in and possess. I call heaven and earth as witnesses today against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Therefore choose life, that both you and your descendants may live, that you may love the Lord your God, that you may obey his voice, and that you may cling to him, for he is your life and the length of your days, and that you may dwell in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them. The Lord is very clear. He, Yahweh, has set before them one of two options, basically what he did with Adam and Eve in Eden. In fact, the Hebrew words for good, tov, and evil, ra, in Deuteronomy 30 verse 15, are the same Hebrew words used in Genesis for the tree of the knowledge of good, tov, and evil, ra. Here, as all through the Bible, there is no middle ground, no neutral place to be. They will either serve the Lord and have life, or they will choose death. It's the same for us as well. Life, goodness, blessing, in contrast to what? Death, evil, and curses? In the end, though, one justly could argue that God really offers them only the good, only life, and only blessings. But if they turn away from him, these bad things will be the natural result, because they no longer have his special protection. However we understand it, the people are presented with these options. It's very clear, too, the reality of their free will, their free choices. These verses, along with so much of the Bible, Old and New Testament, make no sense apart from the sacred gift of free will, free choice. In a real sense, the Lord said to them, therefore, with the free will that I have given you, choose life, choose blessing, choose goodness, not death, evil, and curses. It seems so obvious what the correct choice would be, doesn't it? And yet, we know what happened. The great controversy was as real then as it is now, and we should learn from Israel's example what can happen if we don't give ourselves wholly to the Lord and choose life and all that this choice entails. So, to finish the day, read Deuteronomy 30, verse 20 again. Notice here the link between love and obedience. What must Israel do in order to be faithful to the Lord? How do the same principles apply to us today? That you may love the Lord your God, that you may obey his voice, and that you may cling to him, for he is your life and the length of your days, and that you may dwell in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them. This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind, and It Is Written. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. Remember, God is always faithful.